Hello. All right, let's get our buns over to Awesome Art School so we can dive into our Wonder Bundle lessons. Now, remember, Wonder Bundlers get every club. So, the easiest thing to do is treat them as three separate clubs. So, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to say, do I want to draw? Do I want to paint? Or do I want to say make something magical or mystical? Okay. So that's first things first. And when you decide to do that, then you can go ahead over to that club and get started. So the easiest thing I think to do is always start at awesomeartschool.com and make sure you're logged in. That's why we did that. It was the first thing we learned to do, right? So you're going to go up here. If it says log in, you're not logged in yet. So go ahead and click login, enter your email and password. If you need help resetting anything, click the help button up at the top black bar of the screen, and that will give you directions if you've forgotten how to reset your password or you have trouble with your with that link recognizing your device or whatnot. You can get help there. Then when you're all logged in, you'll finally see this lovely circle icon in the top, and that means you're ready to go. So let's say I'm in the mood for drawing something silly today. I'm going to always head then to the FunFab Drawing Club. So I'm going to, again, always start at awesomeartschool.com, make sure I'm logged in, and then I'm going to click at the top FunFab Drawing Club. This takes me over to the visual index, and here is where I can pick from any of the millions of projects. But you can also see the calendar of events, which is nice. See what's coming up. As I'm recording this, I'm like, ooh, I have a brain stretches session coming up on Friday. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to go jot that down on my calendar so I don't forget. And I will email you the day before and the day of anytime we have a live for any of the clubs. So you can have the link just to join in there. Say you haven't checked out any of your ebooks yet. You can go ahead and do that now by clicking on the download buttons for any of the books. And I will have more information on how to do that in the books section of this onboarding. But you can get to all the books and all the clubs by going to their visual indexes. Here, again, if you forget anything, here's your new members classroom. Here's our brain stretches classroom. So if you missed it, you can never attend live because you live in Australia or you have a job. You can always rewatch them. They're always recorded and uploaded here. If you are a regular YouTube watcher, you can grab all my cheat sheets and rewatch the latest YouTube videos by going to the YouTube and cheat sheet library here. And then you're like, I don't really care about what happened 3 years ago. I just want the latest lessons. Like, what are the new releases? I can't remember from last week's email. That's what's in the latest lessons classroom. So even if you don't scroll down any farther, you have tons already. I have a video here on if you're brand new, where to begin. But also, if you scroll down here, and this is true for all the clubs, we have a color-coded system so you know approximately the ability level of that lesson. So pink is easy, teal is intermediate, and purple is advanced. Okay, so in case you're feeling random, you're like, I hate going in order. I want to do whatever I want. You can go to any lesson that you want and it will be color coded so you can jump in at any time and kind of know ahead of time like how hard it's going to be. Okay. If you're brand new to the drawing club and to drawing in general, I would suggest hitching a ride on the Awesome Artist Accelerator and going in order of the first 7 or 8 classrooms. It's 8 because we started at 0. So you actually get a little certificate at the end of each one, which is kind of neat. So you can start off in supplies classroom. And these are just short little videos talking about my faves. And then you can do Pixie, Sprite. Again, they're all stages. So stage 2, stage 3 is Nymph. So they get a little bit harder. Stage 4 is the fairy, a little bit harder, right? Stage 5, the siren. We're talking realism now. Stage 6, turned face realism. 7 is a real fun mix of some more advanced other things besides faces that we do in the club. So perspective, urban sketching, and I teach you the quadrant method because we're using that quite a bit when it comes to figures and more complex subjects. And then once you get through those, you can literally launch anywhere in the club with full confidence, knowing just what to do. There's hundreds of lessons. You can scroll down, pick whichever one you like. Say I want to learn sketching like Anne Keenan Higgins. You can click that. I know it's easy. Then that actually gets you to the real visual index. And then you can come in here and click, okay, here it is, sketching like Anne Keenan Higgins. And this will take me right to the classroom. And again, all the classrooms in all of the clubs are laid out in the same way. We have supplies first, accompanying PDFs or images second. There they are. To download, you click the purple paperclip, and then the videos are underneath them. Okay, so that's how to do the drawing club. Say then you're in the next mood, you're like, I want to sling some paint around. That, generally speaking, is going to be the Mixed Media Society. So again, you're always going to return back to awesomeartschool.com. Make sure you're logged in. Then click Mixed Media Society up here at the black bar at the top. Click that. And this will lead you to the visual index for the Mixed Media Society. And everything is laid out in the same way. So you have books first, then these basic classrooms that are being updated all the time. We have the new members classroom. Happy hours are our live component where I'm teaching live and hanging out live. We have, of course, the YouTube and cheat sheet library, keeps you up to date on all my YouTube happenings. And then we have our latest lessons. And then again, we can come down and pick lessons that we're interested in. They have the same color-coded system: pink, easy; teal, intermediate; purple, difficult. Karen's World is a roundup of my favorite supplies, just in case you're wondering. And again, if you want to fast track your education, go ahead and zoom through the Awesome Artist Accelerator, which means going through classrooms 0 through 8. Learn about each individual layer of the hamburger system. So if you came to the Mixed Media Society to learn mixed media, this is where you want to start. Stage 0, stage 1, stage 2. So we're learning specifically how to use that exact one art supply before putting them all together. Okay, so once you've mastered each of those individually, and everyone always has questions about sealings and varnishes and finishers, so I have a dedicated classroom just for that. You're ready to then embark on any of the other projects in the clubs, and you can go through and scroll down and again pick whatever you're in the mood for. If you go through those stages 0 through 8, I will say jumping to the hamburger classroom is super fun because that's where you really get to put into action all of the supplies that you just learned. And the hamburger classroom actually appears like a little bit later. But you can also search for classrooms by individual art supply. And in those classrooms, we have gouache, fountain pen inks, watercolors, encaustics, so many things, acrylics. Those are designed to go in order so you can really master them. And then you're going to learn about the supply first. Then you're going to do some easy projects, which are the pink. Then you're going to do intermediate projects, which are the teal, and then you'll get into some harder projects, which is the purple. So that's how if the classroom is an individual art supply, that's how those are broken down. And then we have other bonus classrooms. Like these are all the projects that I teach in my Mixed Media Magic book. You guys get all of them. And then here, of course, is the Mixed Media Hamburger projects, of which there are loads. So you can dive into those since you've mastered all of those art supplies to go with them. There's so much. Hot dogs are mixed media projects that have 4 or fewer layers. So that's a blast. I have a fantasy classroom. There's so much. We have an animals classroom. Again, so much. I have an art deco classroom. Flowers. I've done this beautiful tulip series. I have all these hanging in my house right now, which I love. Pretty painted portraits. We also have a holiday roundup. These are all the painting holiday seasonal projects that you might want to dive into. So much here. And then the skin tone projects that we've been working on that will include lots of different of different art supplies, but we're only talking about how to create amazing skin tones with them. So much to explore in the Mixed Media Society, and almost all of those are wet mediums. And then last but not least, we have the Celtic Collective. So if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling like, I want something bountiful and fairy ridden, and I had a dream about a mermaid, that's going to be the classroom for you. So again, you always start at awesomeartschool.com and then click on the club that you're in the mood for. And so in this case, it would be the Celtic Collective. And all the visual indexes are formatted in the same way. So you know what to expect by now. You have the calendar, the books, new members, the latest lessons. Again, we have our cheat sheet and YouTube library podcast. That's our live component. And then here in all of the clubs, there's you have a little path to follow if you're new. So you would always start in the Mixed Media Society and the Fun Fab Drawing Club. You start at classroom in stage 0. And in the Celtic Collective, you're going to start in the quill and parchment to get a rundown of supplies. But then you can start in the maidens classroom if you're new. If you're like totally new to watercolor or new to gouache, then the maidens classroom, these are all super, super basic lessons for you. Okay. So you can go in here and get a good background of the things that we're going to use when we get into the other themed classrooms in the Celtic Collective. And the themes for the Celtic Collective are super fun and they're all fantasy related. But again, keep in mind, we still have that color coded system: pink easy, teal intermediate, and purple difficult. So even though I have Celtic knots on them, the colors are the same as the other clubs. So you can at a glance figure out which lessons are right for you. So fun. Unseelie Quartz, the freaky ones, Ancient Apothecary. So definitely scroll through and make sure you see all of these that are in there. Many magnificent manses. We have our castles, gods and goddesses, mythical creatures. There's all our dragons, unicorns, mermaids. Celtic Collective might be my favorite club. I just find this stuff so inspirational. We have our witches and our wizards. Sexy Celts and kilts, as you do. And of course, in all 3 clubs, we're adding on new lessons all the time as well. So these will continue to grow over time. So much fun. Celtic Wheel of the Year will be added on to as well. So that's how you navigate to all 3 clubs. And before I leave you, you also should know that each Sunday, you will receive an email from me, and it looks like this. The subject line will always have 2 fire emoji icons with the words Awesome Art School All Clubs Weekly Newsletter. Okay. And then when you open that up, they're always sent on Sundays, always. Then there's always going to be an email. There's going to be a video from me, just like this. Okay. And then there's blogs. These are members only blogs. And you should absolutely click over to all these blogs from the newsletter, because it's sort of like the newsletter on steroids. So there's a lot more information about each project that's coming out, or projects related to a new one that might be coming out. Like say a new lesson's coming out that's super advanced. The blog will say like, okay, well, if you're new to the quadrant method, like start with a fox on in the stage 8 classroom before you jump to this super advanced lesson, and then you'll be in great shape. So there's a lot of little hints, suggestions on how to get the most out of just your whole membership, really. Okay. And then you'll also always get the Wonder Bundle lesson schedule for you, which is super important because it shows all 3 clubs and how they're laid out in the month. Because over half of all of the members are Wonder Bundle members, I'm very careful to make sure I'm not overloading any one club on any one day. So everything is sort of spread out throughout the month and dripped out, spaced out nicely for all of our Wonder members, so you can kind of focus on one thing at a time without getting overwhelmed. Okay. And then when you click through the newsletter, again, I always go Fun Fab Drawing Club first, Mixed Media Society Celtic. That's always the rhythm through all the emails, and you'll get to see all of the lessons that are coming out, what's coming up. And again, definitely click over to see the blogs. There's also little things like my Etsy shop coupon is always there. And just so you know, to get to the blogs, not from a newsletter, in case you're like, wait, what? Or you deleted your newsletter by accident, you can always go to the blogs too by, again, starting at Awesome Art School, going up to the club of your choice at the top. You can actually then, on this website, this is my Karen Campbell Artist website, which is where all the visual indexes are hosted. You can hover over all the club names up here at the top, and you can see the first one is see all the projects. That's the visual indexes. And then under that are the blogs. Okay. So blog and blog. And again, always start at awesomeartschool.com and with a black bar up top, and you should be good to go. All right. So figure out what you're in the mood for and go for it in whatever club. And I highly, highly, highly recommend grabbing the lesson tracker so you can make note of the club you're in, the classroom you're in, the lesson, the teacher. Will also allow you to track the videos as you watch them, as well as make note of the moods you are before you begin. After finish, you can jot notes about what went well, what didn't go well. Are you going to post it? Reminds you to add the hashtag in the Facebook group so you can be entered to win the monthly giveaways that happen on the first of every month. So definitely grab the lesson tracker. Some membership tiers get it for free, some don't, but they're $10 on Amazon. So I highly recommend you can use it across all your clubs to keep you super nicely organized. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. Enjoy.